Okay guys, welcome to episode 8 of the Django and React full course. So we've made huge progress. So in the last episode, we worked on paginating the blogs, whereby we had to sort our pagination button and you can navigate from one page to another. You understand? So right now in this video, I want to work on a detail page of each blog post, something like this. To click on a particular blog post, I want to see the detail page of the blog. So we are going to work on rendering the detail page of this blog. So back to our code now, back to the backend. So we have the URL called get blog, then we put in the slug. Right, so I'm going to just call these blogs. Let me just say blogs and then put in the slug. I'm going to say blogs and then the slug, right? So now these are backend URL. So far to the front end, go down to our router page where we did our routing, and that's in the app.jxs. For a detail page, this is a route. So it's going to be blogs, then a dynamic value, and that value is going to be the slug. So this column you see here represents it's trying to say that this value is meant to be dynamic, right? So that's going to be the blog slug. So over to our blog card, we have to go and correct the path we set there. So here's our blog card now. So right now we have to change this to something better. So we're going to then say, let me just say, we're going to say blogs forward slash. So I'm going to put in the template literal. So I'm going to say blog.slug. Right, so that's what it's going to be. So you go down to the browser now. You click on it on a particular title, click on it. Ouch. You can see it's returned. You can see the title is, you can see, check the URL is saying blogs slash the slug, right? Let's see what the problem is. Console. It says complain about. It says cannot access blogs before initialization. Okay, we are facing this error here. And from what we are saying here, it says it cannot read properties of undefined. And this is coming from our batch components, and we are rendering those batch components on the detail page. So far to our this is our detail page, and there is the batch components up here, right? So let's go down to the batch component right away. I need to close some of this stuff we have here. It's making it look crowded. So open the batch components. Hold down Control and click on the batch. So you can see we're having this blog. So you can see what we are having here. So what we are meant to do now is simple. Just put in the question mark. That's for optional chaining. Remember, that's what. So put in the question mark there. The reason why we are having the error is because we are not passing blog to this badge yet. So that's why we're having that error. So if you put in this optional chaining, it's going to simply return undefined without an error. So you go down to the page now. You can see now we have our detail page back, but the badge is empty. So you can see we have our detail page. Go back to if you come back here, click on any of the blog. There's the detail page. The detail page is not correct yet because the title is not the same as the blog's actual title. But we are going to work on that. So what we're going to do now is simple. We are going to do another. We are going to use query from React query. We are going to do this. I'm going to say, let me just say const data should be equal to use query. Before we do the use query, we have to go down to our API blog.js. We have to create our function that will call this API, that will make the request to the backend. Hope we didn't forget. I'm going to say function. I'm going to say get blog. Right now we are getting an individual blog, and then we're going to be expecting the slug. This time we're going to pass. It's going to be an asynchronous function. I'll say const response should be equal to await. I'll say api.get. We're going to say the URL is blogs, then the slug. right? They're going to simply return response.data. As for, okay, we're going to put this in a try catch, try block. We're going to have the catch block. Have the error there. And you're going to simply just say throw new error. I'll say error.message. Yeah, so I think we've gotten the get blog already. So we have to just simply export it. Yeah, get blog. So this is a function to get an individual blog. Right, so back to our detail page. So we're going to say use query, and it's going to be coming from React query. Come on, suggest it. Here is it. First thing, we're going to have the query key, and that should be suggested for me, right? Query key, that should be blogs. For this time, we want to get the individual. We're going to pass in the slug. So where is the slug coming from? There's some problem. Oh, we didn't import use query. Where's import use query? Use query. Here is it. Click on it. So let's try this query key again. I want to make sure I'm correct. But before we do these things, we need to get this. We need to get this slug from the URL. And React has a hook called use params for it. We're going to use the use params hook. We're going to say const slug should be equal to use params. And that's coming from React router DOM. Yeah, use params. So we just have to get the slug. So right now we're going to have the query key. And it's going to be blogs. But this time we're going to pass in the slug. And the function is going to say query function. Then we're going to say, this one is called get blog, right? Get blog. And this time we have to also pass in the slug, right? So that's it. And right now we have to simply destructure this thing. Remember, the data is the actual blog. We're going to have is pending. We're going to have is error. We're also going to have error. We're also going to have our data, whereby data is the actual blog. So if I console.log, I can rename the data to blog. And if let's console out blog, I'm going to say console.log blog. So we got our blog right now. So what we are going to do is that we have to simply render this block information on the detail page. Because if you check closely, all detail pages are having the same contents, the same title, the same author, the same image, the same body. It's not supposed to be so. Every detail page is meant to have a unique content, right? So, but right now we are having the same title, we are having the same information for all the detail pages. So right now it's time for us to pass our dynamic information. If you go down to your browser's console, if you inspect your browser, inspect now, you see that we have the blog. For each page, we have the blog instead. So if you pick a separate page right now, let's say a guide to CSS, come over, you can see we have a guide to CSS right here. So for each page now, we've got the blog to display on the page. So what's the next step? So it's simple. So first thing first, we are going to simply just come over here and check. We're going to say if is spending is true, if it is true, I'm going to simply return the spinner. I'm going to say return spinner. So let's simply import spinner. Remember I need from our trick, remove some text, and you see the suggestion up here. Click on it, and that's it imported. So right now I'm going to pass this blog as a prop. Sorry, not as a prop. We're going to as a prop, yes, to the badge component. If you check closely now, our badge is empty. That's because it is not receiving any prop from the detail page. If you check the home page, the badge is not empty on the home page. That's because the badge is receiving a prop from the home page. But on our detail page, the badge is not receiving anything. So what do we do? Right now, if we check it, right now, this is our badge component now. You can see it's expecting blog so it can display the category. But right here, we are passing nothing. That's why the badge is empty on our detail page. So it's simple. Just simply pass blog to the badge. Passing blog there. Blog should be equal to blog. And that's it. And if we go back here, you can see now, let's watch. Our badge has got, it's no longer empty, right? It has got something to show there, design. So as for our title, the same thing. We're going to display it. We're going to simply come over here and say blog.title. Blog.title. And back here, we want to see, because now we've got, right now we're having the perfect title, right? So once again, let's refresh the page. We are meant to see a spinner, right? Perfect. Because you have the spinner here. Remember, it's going to first of all spin and then load out the data. So got our spinner now. So wants to make this auto session dynamic, right? So what do? We pass on the blog. We're going to pass on the blog to this blog writer component. Just copy this. Ouch. We are in the detail page. We'll pass on the blog here, paste it there, and over to our blog writer components. That should be in the UI components folder. We have a file called blog writer. So we have to receive the blog prop. I'll say receive it. And first thing first, we want to change the author's picture. So we have to use, remember whenever you're trying to render an image, you have to append the backend URL with the image URL you get. So right now, I'm going to just say base underscore URL. And over here, I'm going to pass in the picture URL, which is blog dot, it's going to be blog dot profile underscore picture. So that's it. If you check right now, ouch. If you check here, I think you're having an error. I'm not sure we imported the base URL. Let's import base URL. Yeah, that's it. So back here should be fine. Yeah, it's not displaying. What could be wrong? Let's say it's be blog.profile picture. Blog.profile picture says. Okay, let's see what the blog returns. Sorry, it's blog.author. Remember, this is the object. It's meant to be blog.author. I'll show you. Okay, it's meant to be blog.author. Then the profile picture. So it's not blog.profile picture, blog.author profile picture. Come on. Blog.author.profile picture. Okay, we have to remove the space in between the URL and the blog. And watch now, we're gonna have it. Perfect, we've got it there. So what's the next thing? We want to also simply display the image. Once it's meant to be dynamic. So back to our code now. This should be on our detail page. So this should be blog.contents. And also this image here is meant to be dynamic. This image we have here. So we have to just come over here. That should be blog.featured image. Remember, we have to pass in our base URL. Right, so we're gonna say base URL. Come on. Yep. And we're going to pass in, I'm going to say blog dot featured image. That should be fine. Come on. Yep. So we've got it now. So I think we have a dynamic detail. Our detail page is now dynamic. It's now dynamic, right? Check it, perfect. We only rendered out the profile picture for the author. The name and the dates are both they are both static values. They are both static values, and it's not meant to be so. You can see we have John Doe. This user is called Clinton Jr., not John Doe, and this date here is wrong. So let's work on this. I forgot to put in the right values there. And over to the blog detail page, and over to our blog writer. Yeah, you have to put in I forgot to impute this. So sorry. So we're gonna put in the name here. The name is called. This is the name here, not John Doe, or rather, it's gonna be blog dot first name. Sorry, blog dot author first name. If you check out, what was it called? The console. The author's information is in the author objects, right? Not in the blog objects. The author is in the blog object. Why the author's information is in the author object? Get so it's meant to be called. I don't know why the author is not opening. Okay, here's the author now. You can see is the first name, right? First name and the last name. So I'll just copy this and paste for the last name. And also the date the blog was created. This value is static. So we're going to use, remember, we have the function called format date. Come on, suggest this for me. Yep. So I'm going to just pass in blog dot published date. Okay, perfect. We have something better. So yeah, so we are done with the detail page now. So it's perfect. If you check out another blog post, let's go down to page 2. Open this. Yeah, it's excellent. Nice, perfect. So we are done with the detail page. Okay, so we are done with this episode whereby we worked on rendering up the detail page for each of our blog posts. In the next video, we are going to work on users registration. So see you in the next video.